This week, we're back on the old Silver Bullit. Oh, yeah. She still got some issues that we got to work through and get fixed. Got to get her in tip-top shape because I'm still planning on taking a trip probably in 2 or 3 weeks. Oh, yeah, I still ain't telling you where I'm going just yet. You'll have to wait on that. I ain't telling you what we're doing when we get there. You'll have to wait on that, too. I started this video working on this, I don't know, 3 weeks ago in my spare time. Yeah, like I have spare time. It might seem kind of chopped up, out of place for a little bit, so just bear with me. Anyways, let us get busy. You might recall a few weeks ago, I was working on this, sitting in the road out in front of the house because, well, we were having issues with the spark. It would pop back through the car when you hear it pinging through the exhaust like it was firing late or whatever. And, well, I figured, let's just get rid of this Durspark garbage and get us an HEI. Well, here it is, right here. Pretty straightforward. You pull that one out, remember where your rotor's pointed. Put that one back, just like that, and you got one wire, two if you got a tack. I think this is the power wire, and then this over here is the tack. Pretty simple. And then, of course, you set the timing, you know, make sure you got your fire door right. Yeah, I'm bad about that. Anyways, let's get this swapped out. We're pointed at about 11:30 with the rotor, so y'all remember that. Don't let me forget when I'm putting this back together. Vacuum advance is at what? 5:30, somewhere in there. All right, let's pull her out. I already got the wires unhooked. And there it is. Now, the rotor was approximately right there, and the vacuum advance was about right there. Let's see. We get, nope. About right there, but we're not down. That right there went down. Let me look at it. I took a picture. That looks right, but let me look at that picture real quick. Oh, yeah, that's pretty close. All right, number one was in the very back. So let me get my hold down back on, and then we'll get our cap and wires on. Then we got to do a little wiring, and then we'll be done with this, other than timing it. Oh, yeah. Where's my capalappa? Here's the capalappa. Come on, man. Well, which way does it go? Approximately like that. That does look weird under this hood. Basically a GM distributor sitting in the front. Let me get the wires on. I'm gonna put it right there. This one's gonna be numero 10. Let me get that done and I'll be back and we'll hopefully get it wired up. Wires are hopefully in order. I did go counterclockwise like you do on a Ford. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch the Dumas videos from a couple years ago. Anyway, there's a coil I don't need anymore. A bunch of wiring I don't need. This is my tack wire. I got to make it a little longer, I guess. And then I got to find a switched 12-volt source somewhere in these wires. And that's going to be the power going to the, what's that called, distributor. So let me figure that out. I wonder, that is for the temp sensor, the old one. I wonder if it's 12 volts or if it's coming from the gauge. I don't know. I'll have to get my meter out. Let me check that real quick. I know what we'll use. The coil, one of the coil wires. I'll have to figure out which one's 12 volts, but yeah, that's what we'll use. All right, let me get that rigged up real quick. I got my metry out. Let us determine which one of these coil wires is the 12. I do believe it's going to be the black wire. Is that black? Well, it's black tape. Well, the green one is showing 10.8 volts. I don't understand that. No, sir. Anyway, this wire here, whatever color it is the 12 volts. Now you see these, these wire nuts, household wire nuts. I did not do that. It's something I would do, but I did not do it on this truck. I just taped them up so they wouldn't fall apart. So as soon as I find out what color this wire is, I'm gonna cut it all the way back here because there's more of them right here. Oh yeah. Anyways, I guess it's red, yep. So let me get this conglomerate of garbage undone. I'll run a wire over there to the distributor. Got the power wire ran. Now I'm extending the tack wire over there. Once I get that done, we will be able to fire it up, set the timing, hopefully. See if we can get this little fella up in there on the tack terminal. There we go. All right, let's see what we fire up. Fire the hole. Well, it's running, but it ain't right. I don't know if I got the firing order wrong or if the timing is that far off. Let me check a firing order. I'll be right back. Well, the firing order is right, so I'm going to advance it. Let's see, it turns this way, so if you turn it this way, give it some advance. And I also forgot that I've got that vacuum line unplugged, so that may have had something to do with it too. Let's see what it does now. Fire the hole for the 984th time. Mucho betero. Yeah. Let me let it warm up because it's cold. And we'll get the timing set on it. Best I can tell, we got about 15 degrees at idle. Trying to get around 30, 32 revved up. And I mean, there's just a small, very small window to see that timing tab. It's really a pain. It's showing about 30 degrees or so. I'm gonna give her a wee bit more. Turns this way, so we need to go this way. We'll try her about right there, see what we get. That's about 35, but it's coming in too late. It's coming in past 3,000. I think it needs to be a little bit lower, but we're gonna leave it like that for now. And I might take it down the road here in a little bit to see how it does. Let's take her down the road. Gotta go to the gas station first because we're sitting on E. There's something wrong with that carb. Yep. That's that 750 I just rebuilt. Yeah, it ain't no good. I don't know what's going on. It's no good. Hope we don't get stuck in the mud right here. Yeah, that carb ain't no count. Whoa, Nelly. It ain't cutting out anymore, so that's awesome. I think we got that fixed. Alright, let's get in here and get some gasolines before we run out. give her another go down the road. Still got that hesitation just on vinyl, but other than that, it's mucho better than it was. Oh yeah. See if y'all can hear the hesitation when I take off. Hear it? Well, we got one thing fixed with the old hunk of junk. It ain't doing all that backfiring and popping and carrying on anymore, so the distributor took care of that. We got carb issues now. Y'all heard it there one time, I'm pretty sure. I went to take off, she just blip and then took off, yeah. You know, it's a brand new carb to this vehicle. Maybe I didn't get it cleaned good enough, or maybe I just don't know how to adjust them. That's very possible. Also, we still got a real main seal leak. Oh yeah, you can see where it was flinging it that away. Really don't want to, but we're probably going to have to pull the motor and fix that. It's very possible I did put the seal in backwards. We ain't gonna worry about that tonight though. At least we did get one thing fixed. We'll get all the other stuff fixed eventually. Now we got another problem. The pump shot is really weak. It's got a real bad hesitation, and the pump shot's real weak for the first quite a bit of throttle movement, and it just sort of trickles out. It should be shooting out. And I don't know what's going on. Here's the accelerator pump, brand new. Don't see nothing wrong with it other than, oh wait a minute, that is kind of stiff. That's interesting. What in the world? That's brand new. Well, that might be the issue. And I don't have another one. This is interesting. Let me look at this. I thought it was going to be this little rubber pieces, the check valve. See that hole right there? It'll pull fluid in, and then this little rubber flapper acts as a check valve. Won't let it go back through that hole. It'll go out, where's it at? This hole here. And then that's what sends it out to the nozzle. But this here seems kind of stiff. That's very weird. Let me investigate and I'll let y'all know what I find out. Well, upon further investigation, I ain't got no clue. I have changed the little check valve because that there did feel kind of floppy and flimsy. I've got these two accelerator pumps that might work. Well, this one here would. I don't think this one would because this little nub is too tall. But I'm not going to change it out yet because I want to know what it is. So I will know in the future if this happens again. Well, hey, it's probably that check valve. Or no, it's not. It's the accelerator pump or whatever. Anyway, let me go put this back on and let's see what it does. You might be wondering, why does he have 3 float bowls sitting here in front of him on this table? Well, one of these things is not like the other. No, sir. These two came off the 600 double pumper that goes on the LT1 in that, and it's supposed to be out of here the next day or two. Well, as you can see, the gasket, well, it's sort of become disarrayed. I thought these were reusable. Well, apparently not. Yep, because it tore. I got to find a gasket because, like I said, it's going on that in the next day or two. Anyway, the reason I pulled these off is, well, let me show you this. This come on the 750 on Silver Bullit. See that hole right there? Well, here's your accelerator pump right here. And it comes out of this hole and up and then out the pump nozzle. Well, I put this gasket on here just out of curiosity. And if I can get it on there where it goes approximately about right there. Well, what do you see? That hole is uncovered here and then covered up down here. Well, it's not going to the passage very much. It's just shooting out here back in the bowl. That ain't gonna work. Nope. So I tore this off of the 600 just to see, just to compare. And as you can see, this hole in the 600 is, well, it's smaller for one thing. Two, it's down and to the left compared to this one here. And that's what the issue is. This is the wrong float bowl for that carb. The 600 and the 750 are both 4150 models. So they're basically the same, other than one of them flows more CFM, 600 versus 750. So that's the wrong bowl. Probably why it ended up on eBay. Yep, because somebody somewhere down the line put the wrong bowl on it, and it wouldn't run right, and well, they just got tired of it and put it on eBay, and some sucker like me bought it. So yeah, I got to try to find a new bowl. Well, actually what I'm going to do is take the whole carb off, because this is the primary bowl, by the way, the front bowl. The secondary, it may be wrong too, so I'm just going to pull the whole carb off, and we'll look at it good and determine if I need 2 bowls or just one. I'm hoping just one, because these are not cheap. They're like $75, $80 a piece, unless I can find one on eBay and I'm liable to get the wrong one again. Anyways, let me do a little research and pull that carb off, and I'll let y'all know what I find out. Update: pulled the carb off. As you can see, this is the secondary side, and it's right. When you see the hole, it matches the one that looks like that on the 600. And the way I know it's the wrong bowl and not the wrong carb is the gasket matches the body of the carb. See that hole? Well, my gasket's in the way. See that hole? Well, I put the gasket down, you can still see the hole. Same way on the front. Yeah, I already checked that out when it was on the truck. Well, my darn metering plates done fell off. That ain't no good. But anyway, let me get this gasket, put it on this one right here, and I'll show you. See how that hole's matching up? Yeah. I gotta find one fuel bowl, and then this carb should be good to go. Let me get on the old eBay. Maybe we can find one cheap. If not, well, I'm gonna have to buy a new one. Just got over here to Mama's. Fixing to work on the tractor a little bit. Look who come running through the yard. I think they're letting her out, like on the weekends maybe. She usually comes over on Sundays. This is Saturday. She's over here. She's wanting her to treat a hot dog or a piece of bologna. How you doing, girl? Say hello, everybody. You doing all right? How's your ear? It seems to be pretty good, and not on your head. It's gone. Well, look at here what I got. A spankingly new fuel bowl for that carb. Yep, even has the pretty little Holly performance on it. The old one does not have that. It just has Holly up here and a bunch of patent numbers. As far as I can tell, it's brand new. Got it off of eBay for, I think it was 45 dineros to my front door. I don't know if it's a blemish or what, because they cost like $85, $90 if you buy it from Summit or Holly or somewhere like that. Here's what I'm going to do. We're going to swap everything to over here. I ain't sure if I'm going to put it on tonight because it's getting kind of late, and that truck is pretty loud. Even with the mufflers, I don't want to wake up the neighborhood. Let me get these swapped, and then we'll decide if we're going to put it on tonight or wait till tomorrow. All right, let me show y'all real quickly how you can tear this thing apart. Put these parts here, over here. First, you want to measure the float level, because I had already set this float level, and it was good. So I'm going to measure it, put it right back. I'll check it again, but we'll at least be close. That's 600 thousandths from here to the bottom. Well, it's the top, actually, but right now it's the bottom. 600 by thousandths, almost 5/8 of an inch. So remember that. Now let's pull the accelerator pump out of it real quick like. It's just 4 Phillips screws. There you have it. There's your accelerator pump, whatever you want to call it. Diaphragm, I guess. You got this spring. Don't forget the spring. You got that little check valve. I think I showed y'all the other night. This one came with a check valve already, so we will leave it in there because it seems to be in pretty good shape. Then all you do is put your spring-a-lang right there. Put this little feller just like that right there and tighten them down. Now, let's pull the needle and seat out. What you have to do firstly, loosen up that set screw right there. Then you just turn it out just like that right there. This is all brand spankingly new. You know, I rebuilt this carb here the other day. You just transfer it over, put it right on over in there, just like that right there. We'll leave that backed off a little bit for now. Then in here, to get the float out, there's two straight headed screws. That washer, I gotta take that back off because it goes here. Yep. We'll do that in a moment. If we don't, that adjuster will leak. There it is. This, I would like to know what that fits. I'm gonna do some studying and see if I can figure out which carb that fits, but it does not fit these ones right here. Let me pull this back off. Put that whoosher back on here. You get a whoosher on the bottom and top of that nut there. Then put this little feller back in here. Now these are a little aggravating to get down in there, unless you got a magnetical screwdriver. That little one wouldn't grab a hold real good. We are, I think, cutting threads right now. They're tight. Let's check our float level, see how close it is there. All you gotta do is run this down. Let's measure that. See what we got. Should be around 600 of a thousandths. And when you go down a wee bit more. We'll leave it there. That's probably all right. Now let me lock this lock screw down. There you go. I got to take this out right here real quick. Ooh, that's tight. Oh man. This has a metal whoosher right here. Let me clean that off. Looks a little nasty. There you go. You get little bitty whooshers here, 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 and here. And of course a gasket here, and that'll be it. I reckon we will put this on tomorrow because, like I said, it's kind of late. I don't want to wake up the neighborhood, so yeah. I reckon I'll see y'all tomorrow. You might be wondering, why does he need it so high in the sky just to put a carb on it? Well, I don't. Put the carb on it with it sitting out there, and I do believe it has fixed the issue. Oh yeah, the hesitation's gone. But when I tried to drive it, well, it didn't want to go. Like the transmission's burned up. Well, I managed to get it over here on the rack, raised it up, and look at here. We have an ocean of transmission fluid on the floor. Yep. Well, upon further investigation, our dipstick tube is leaking. The O-ring, part of it's missing. I could have swore I put a new O-ring on this before I put that back in the transmission and put it in the truck. Maybe I cut it putting it in, but it don't feel like a brand new O-ring. I don't know. I'll put another on it. We'll see how it goes. I'll put it back in, fill it up with transmission fluids. I was going to drive it down the road, you know, just to see how it drove without that huge hesitation, but my fiery dragon has done quit on me. I got to take it, open it up and clean it, and that's going to be an hour or so. By the time I get done with that, it'll be dark, and well, there's some other stuff that I want to check on this truck. I'll tell you about that after a while once I get the fiery dragon situated. I just thought I'd show y'all what kind of mess I've got to deal with on this fiery dragon. It is just, yeah, it's basically stopped up completely right there. And when that happens, it just, yeah, goes running rich and just blackens everything. It'll take me a pretty good while to get this good and clean. The next one I build, well, I got a new design. I think I'm gonna make it out of stainless too, because it's them exhaust fumes, man, they are so corrosive. Anyways, let me get this cleaned up. I got it vacuumed out. Then you have to take this brush and go in here and clean everything out, and then you got to vacuum it again, and then you're done. This stuff is really bad. I just tore off one of my filters from a mask. You don't want to breathe this stuff. Let me get this mask back on and get this cleaned. Ooh, it stinks. With Artiz, it looks mucho better than it did when we started. I tell you what, I smoked up pretty much the whole neighborhood. Y'all probably can't see it, but it's done went that away. All the dust from this. I got one of these, they call it a dust devil. You put it on a 5-gallon bucket. It don't do very good. I might try it on like a 55-gallon drum or something, see if it don't do better, because that was, yeah, really, really smoky. I can see it way over yonder. Anyway, let me bolt this thing up and let's see if it's gonna fire up. Well, she's buttoned back up. I think she's ready to go. Let's hit the button. That arms it. That starts it. Oh yeah, she's done fired right up. Showing a fiery dragon. Breathing heavy once again. If you don't know what a fiery dragon is, we'll go to my playlist. There's a few videos explaining what it is and when I built it. Like I said, I got another version in mind. We'll build it one of these days, but for now, that thing does pretty good. Let's get back on this old jalopy right here. I think we'll start with putting the O-ring on here, putting it back in the truck, and then I need to clean up because there's transmission fluids everywhere. This little pile here, that's from it dripping off this cross member, messing up my pretty paint. I don't like it. Anyways, let's get our O-ring on this. I was reading up on, maybe this is a common issue. I don't think it is, because you can still see part of the O-ring right there where it looks like I cut it when I put it in and it stuck to here. I did read one feller say that you need the O-ring from GM because a regular old industrial O-ring like these, the transmission fluid will eat it up. I don't think I believe that, but if this happens again, that's too big. If this happens again, well, then I might actually believe that. Let's see if it's right here. That there feels a little smallish, but no, I think that might work. Let me get this put back in the truck. Get me a little bit of transmission fluid to lube this up. Maybe we won't tear it this time. All right, let's get her back up in here some kind of a way. You don't really want to go in. I'm going to push it in and then pull it out just to see if that O-ring got cut. It's almost down. All right, I think it went in. Well, the hole where my hold down clamp is lining up anyways. All right, let me pull it out and just see what it looks like. Come on, man. There we go. Yep, I cut that one too, or mashed it. So we're gonna have to do something different here because this is gonna keep happening. I wonder if that O-ring is too fat for the hole. Well, come out of there. Yes, sir, we damaged it pretty bad. Let me see what I can figure out. My new camera will not zoom in. It doesn't. It's really fuzzy if you try to get up close. So I'm using my cell phone, but you can see it right there where it got folded up. Yep. Let me figure out what I need to do. I might have to go buy the actual O-ring. I think O'Reilly's has it. Matter of fact, let's just do that. Let me go get it and I'll be right back. Well, upon further investigation and inspection, O-ring size is not the issue. Well, O'Reilly's does not have that O-ring. I must have looked at something different earlier, but they don't have it. Well, they can get it. They don't have it in stock. I inspected the tube a little more, and what I was feeling of this O-ring, and it feels like it was sticking out further on one side, and that's probably where it was getting cut. And I got to looking, and the end of it here was bent. I don't know if that's got anything to do with it or not, so I straightened it back up. It does feel better, so let me lube it up, and we'll give her the old try once more time. Hopefully this will work this time. Let me give me a little lubrication. Put all over. That being bent, that's probably why it was hard to get in too. All right, let us try this one more time. Hopefully it's gonna work. I can get this here turned the right way. Yeah, it went in easier. Yeah, a lot easier. Let me pull it back out and just see what it looks like. We may have, oh, she's Sorry, son of a gun. Man, they got oil all over me. I'll have to go change my shirt. I can't stand having an oil-soaked shirt. Anyway, let me look at the O-ring real quick. I do believe we have fixed the issue, so let me put it back in there. And we'll lower it down, fill it up, and keep on trucking. Yeah, it goes in a lot easier now. Let me get my bolt in for the dipstick tube. Got to put a few manual ugga-duggas on it. Oh yeah, that's it. All right, let's let her down. I'm gonna put a quart or so back in it, and then we'll fire it up and see where our level is. Also, know, by the way, if anybody wants to know, that O-ring was a number 113. Iron hole. I can't hardly reach that. What do we have? Well, it ain't even, well, it's barely showing. Let's put some more in it. I may not have enough. That's all I got right here. Let's see what that does for it. We have a major fuel leak. No, yeah, see it running out right there. Where is it coming from? Well, I don't know, but I'll have to find it. Yep. It's this adapter that screws into the carb, and then your fuel line screws into it. It's hard. Well, there was a new washer I'd put on there, so I don't know why it's leaking, but it's hard to get anything on there, really, to get it gootin' tight. But we're going to try it this time with a socket, if it'll fit on there. Well, you can't get it on there because this bottom bolt head on the bowl is in the way. And you can't get a wrench on it. Distributor's in the way on a Ford. Yeah, so you can't get that socket on there. Let me devise a way to make this tighten up. And then I'll be back, and hopefully we won't have any more leaks. You can't get nothing on it, to be honest. No, sir. Pile of garbage is what it is. Okay, you know what it is? This is the new float bowl, and it's hitting right here on this corner. Yep. So these are factory rejects. Yeah, and I guarantee you that's why it's leaking. Yes, sir, that'll never work. Ah, me. Let me take a fuel bowl off, see if I can't grind some of that away and fix that issue. Well, I misspoke. It is not this. Here's the deal. This adapter screws into here, and then this fuel line that you can buy screws into it. Like I said, I put a new whoosher on it when I put that new fuel bowl on there. Thought that might be the issue. Well, I got to looking at this, and it's got some areas on it that look like it might cause it to leak. So when you buy a fuel line like this, you get these fittings here most of the time. This is a Mr. Gasket part, by the way, not a eBay or something like that. It's made wrong. This has a shoulder on it. This one don't, so it has to screw down further. Well, it hits that edge right there. That's what the deal is. Mismade, probably made in China part. Yep. Let me see if I got one of these for a Holly. I don't think I do. If not, I'm going to try to file on this a little bit and flatten it out. Maybe that'll work. I don't know. We got to try something. I don't have another one of these, so I'm taking a file and very lightly filing. It's like little humps where maybe a wrench had grabbed it, and twisted the metal up. So I'm going to file them down, and we'll try it again. But these are extremely aggravating to try to tighten up, especially when it's on the vehicle. So I'm going to tighten her up really, really good right here. You can't get a socket on it because that boss right there is in the way. Yeah. Anyway, we'll try to tighten her up some kind of way off of the vehicular and see what that does. Well, I tightened it with all my might. So if it leaks now, well, I don't know what we'll do. Anyway, let me get this put back together. And we'll give her the old try once more and get the transmission filled up. Fire in the hole. Well, did we fix the leak? I don't see any, but yeah, still got a leak. I don't know what you do about that, fellas. Let's go ahead and get this filled up, and we'll worry about that in a little bit. It's within the, well, it's right at the bottom, but it ain't warmed up yet, so I'm gonna let her warm up. We'll check it again here in a little bit. I don't see any transmission fluids on the floor. We do still have a little, you know, rear main seal leak we're gonna have to address, but no transmission leaks. That is awesome. Transmission is, it's decent. It's halfway in between out of paint and a full, and it's not warmed up, so it'll keep on coming up a little bit. We'll check it again later after we take it down the road, you know, work the fluid through it. Also, still leaking. I tried to tighten it up again, and well, you can see how wet my finger is. Yep. It's just, that's really aggravating. Holly might make a wrench, special wrench for that, and it aggravates me that you have to buy a special wrench for that. Engineers all know better than that. That's kind of pitiful. Anyways, we'll worry about that later. What we're going to do now is, remember me telling you that I thought this thing had some more issues? Well, here is what I'm thinking. I think it's got a dead cylinder. It has not ran like I think it should ever since we put it back on the road. There's been maybe 3 or 4 times that it would really sit me back in my seat. But other than that, you know, it just feels kind of blah, to be honest. I was very disappointed. I didn't want to let y'all know because, you know, I hadn't investigated it yet. Someone's telling me, though, we got a cylinder issue. Maybe 2 or 3, I don't know. Here's what I want to do, though. My usual, let's pull the plug wire, see if it idles down. That'll tell us if that cylinder is actually firing or not. Hopefully we'll find one and can fix the issue, and then we'll take this thing for a test drive, and I bet you it'll wake it up, yep, if that's what the issue is. This is a fuse puller, by the way, that I use to pull these plug wires off, because I don't like getting shocked. Anyway, let's see if we got one dead. We'll start with, I think, number 1 right here. Well, I can't get it off of there. Come on, man. Let me try these 2 again. They didn't sound right. Oh, it makes me so mad when that happens. Dang it, that hurt. Ow. Let me try this other one here. I think it's okay. This in here, I believe, is dead, though. Dang it, that hurt. I'm telling you, I hate that more than anything in the world. It's getting fire because it hit me. Yes, sir, it hurt pretty bad. This one here is, where's it going? Number 7. That is the header that we had to smash, the tube. And that boot, it's laying right on that header. Let me pull this off. See what we got. Oh yeah, let me show y'all that real quick. That's probably the issue. If you will look very closely, you can see where the boot has melted away, and you can see metal down in there. So yeah, she's been arcing and sparking to the header over there, sure enough. What can I do to fix this? I know what I can do. I got regular old GM 90s. We'll change that out because it's a lot smaller and shorter. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Let me get one of them out and fix that real quick like. I think I found what I need. This is what come off of it. See how long this is here? That's what goes on the spark plug end. And then you got this in here. I think they call this the HEI. See how much shorter? Oh, yeah. So let's get that put on real quick like. You must use Vaseline or you will not get these up in there. I promise you. Then you take your needly noses, reach down in there and grab the wire. Pull it out just like that right there. Then I gotta strip some more of it back because that ain't quite enough right there. Now what you do is you put this little feller and this little feller here. That's the handiest tool I've ever bought for spark plug wires. Anyway, where you strip back, you got that wire, you want to fold it over as you stick it in there. Then you go chompa, just like that right there, and that's it. And there you have spark plug wire. You pull the boot back over it, hopefully. Hopefully. It ain't going. What is going on? There we go. All right. Oh, wait a minute. I pulled too far. Now, let's see what that looks like. Oh, yeah. Well, now the wire's hitting down here. I need to tie these up. I'll tell you what. Do them like that right there. That'll work. Yep. Now, I believe that's going to help this truck out tremendously. Sure enough. Let's test it now and see what it's doing. See if it dies down or not. Tell you what, I got to make a dump star run. So let me load some garbage up over there and over here at the house. We'll take her on a test drive, see how it does. All right, let's head down the road, see what she's going to do. Still acts like it's got some hesitation in it. It does, and it's fully warmed up. Let me do a little adjusting on it real quick. I don't know if we'll ever get it figured out, but we're going to take her down the road anyways. See how it does. Before, I had to feather the gas pedal. It hesitated so bad. It ain't doing that now, so it is better. Yeah, it's a lot better. Sitting on E also, so we gotta get to the gas station. It feels better under park throttle. Used to I'd have to be in the gas quite a bit, and I thought that was odd. Well, I'm barely in it now. We're cruising pretty good, so I believe we've had a dead cylinder from day one. It's a lot better. We can't get any traction, but we ain't got one wheel peeled. bad, not bad at all. Yeah. Yeah. 390 was a 351. I made a stroker. It's a 394 now. Pretty good sand there. Yeah. It runs pretty good. You want to buy it? I'll sell it to you. Better get some gasolines if we're going to do that very much. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell now because it spins like crazy. I ain't getting no traction. That's my handy dandy assistant. Get out of the road. Well, that was my handy dandy assistant pulling that tractor down the road. Well, I went to church, turned around, come back just see what he was up to. Well, on the way back to his shop, I stopped next to him as he was, pulling the tractor down the road. I may or may not have done a burnout, and then took off. I went to the shop, stayed over there for a little while, and then I went back to Mama's and worked on the tractor for a little bit, trying to figure out what's wrong with the hydraulics on it. I still ain't figured it out. But anyway, we're back home now. Well, on the way home, I saw something laying in the road. I was like, what is that? And the closer I got to it, I said, that looks like a belt. Well, let me stop and get it. I did. And when I picked it up, I said, that looks really familiar. Well, it should, because here it is. It belongs on the alternator right here. Yeah, see? Nary a belt right there at all. Nope. Yeah. Well, when I did that burnout next to him, I hit some R's. Let me tell you. She's definitely running better. Oh, yeah. We have a traction issue now due to now running on 8 cylinders, and still every once in a while it will get some traction. Let me tell you, it'll push you back in the seat. Oh yeah. If we can get both tires grabbing, yeah, she's gonna be a whole lot more fun to drive. I think so. I got something coming to remedy that. I don't know when it's gonna be here. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. As soon as it gets here, we will work on that. Matter of fact, tomorrow we might go ahead and pull the rear gear out and get it prepared to get that posi unit in it. And I'm putting a different gear in it too. This thing has 246 gears. I looked at it the other night when I had it up in there. Yes, the tag on the rear end says 2.46 ratio. That's insane. I got some gears coming, a posi unit. It already has 31 spline axles from the factory. So that's awesome. It had vinyl axles. They'll be plenty strong. Anyway, as soon as that gets here, we will put that in and Yeah, we're gonna have a fun truck then. I'm going in the house for now. I guess see y'all tomorrow. Well, here's the deal with the old Silver Bullit. It's really starting to get on my nerves. As soon as I turned the camera off last night, I was standing in front of it here. Well, I heard a gurgling, bubbling noise. So I took the air cleaner off, looked down in there, and yep, sure enough, she's flooded. The needle and seat must have let go and dumped what pressure was on the line into the carb. Yesterday, after I turned the camera off, when we drove it down the road, it died on me twice and wouldn't start back unless I held it on the floor. So that's usually means it's flooding. So we still got carb issues, and I'm really starting to not like Holly carbs. Yep. I thought about putting a quadrajet on it. Wouldn't that be something, a quadrajet on a Ford motor? I might do it, I don't know. But here's the deal, the reason it's up in the air, well, one reason why is we still got a transmission leak. This puddle and then part of this one is transmission. That's rear main seal. That's carb cleaner I just sprayed on the dipstick area. I'm gonna check it again here in a minute, see if it's still leaking. Pretty sure that's where it's coming from. I stuck my camera up in there and I'll show you right here. You can see a little bit of a red around the bottom of that dipstick tube. They make another dipstick tube that uses, well, I think they call it like a top hat seal. It's kind of that long. It's a lot better seal is what I'm getting at. But I have to buy a different dipstick tube. May end up doing that because that's aggravating. I hate leaks. I really hate them. We'll worry about that in a little while. The main reason it's up in the air is, well, I told you we were going to start on our rear end gear and all that today, or tear it apart. The posi unit won't be here till tomorrow, and the gear might be here tomorrow, or it might be here 3 days from now. I don't have that kind of time just to sit around. I don't want to tear the rear end down and this be stuck in my way. So we're going to wait on doing the rear gear and posi and all that. What we're going to do is pull the motor and fix this rear main seal. The reason I had it up in the air, I was seeing if maybe I could jack the motor up and get that pan out. I don't think so. I know you can't get it out the front because there's just not enough room. And I think you'd have to jack it way up to get it out the back. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull the motor. Yep. I'm going to leave the transmission in place, or at least try to. It ain't that big a deal. Just a few bolts and wires. The main thing I hate is the coolant. It's just, it makes a mess. But anyways, let me let her back down, or actually, I might go ahead and undo the transmission and all that, and then we'll let her down and start unhooking stuff up top. Let's start with all of the transmission voltages. We'll get them loose. Then we'll have to do the torque converter, exhaust. I'm going to try to leave the transmission in. I don't want to pull it. We'll probably put our jack there, right here, and hold it up. I just remembered, I talked about getting a different dipstick tube. I got one on that 400 over there. It should be the same as far as, working. And I believe it's got the little top hat seal. We'll make a mess pulling it out though, because it's completely full of transmission fluids. But that's probably what we'll do, because I hate this leak. It's very aggravating. Get these here Torque-a-lork converter bolts out of the way real quick like. I gotta get my shims out. Uh-oh, I dropped one. Just for posterity's sake, we have 3 and 4 is 7 whooshers at each place. All right, let me get this thing turned over a little bit and get the other 2 out. Well, it's gonna take a minute right here. Got the torque converter bolts out. Let's get the exhaust out now. Come on, man. Well, I got the exhaust done. I still got the battery hooked up there, so I don't want to undo the starter yet, because I will probably be arcing and sparking with the wrench. So I'll wait on that. I'll bring it back up after I unhook the battery. Ow! Anyway, let's let her down and go to unhooking stuff up top. I think I've got everything unhooked. If I don't, well, it's either going to break or we're going to raise the whole front of the truck up. Let me get this hooked up and we'll find out very, very quickly. Going up. Well, she's up off of the motor mounts. I heard something fall. Big old whoosher off of the motor mount. Now I need to come forward to get off them dowel pins on the transmission. I think I'm up a wee bit too high. Let's go down a little bit. Well, no, ain't either. The motor mount bolts are not clearing. Interesting. Interesting. Let me get my stool. Well, it don't want to come off of the transmission. There she went. Oh yeah, she's coming on up. But I'm going to predict, since I'm doing this by myself, that probably going to have to pull the transmission or at least pull it back. Because there's no way I'm going to get that lined up by myself. No, sir. I don't think it'll happen. Let me make sure I ain't got no wires still hooked up. Oh, crapatooey. Oh, crapatooey. Yep. I probably done tore that up. Forgot my oil pressure line. Yep. She's pretty taut. Let me get that loose. And then hopefully it'll come on out. Yep, I probably done tore that line up. All right, I got her loose. Let me get her out of the way. I always leave a little bit coiled up under the dash. If I wouldn't have done that, it probably would have pulled that little line in too. Oh yeah. Well, there it is. Let me get it out and get it over yonder. Y'all remember the little torque converter pilot adapter that I had to make? Well, it's being a pain. It don't want to come out. Remember we had to drive it in? Which, you know, you want it to be a tight fit, but this is ridiculous. I want it out of the way so I can get this out of the way. Because if I'm going to go to the trouble of pulling this out of that truck, I won't be able to see what I'm doing. Yes, sir. This is a wee bit aggravating. Oh! There we go. Tell you what we need to do. I don't have a tap big enough, I don't think, but whatever this is, tap it. That way I can put a bolt in here and then put my, what's this called? Slide hammer on that bolt instead of messing this up, because I done marked that up. I'll have to clean that up a little bit. Anyway, let's get the oil pan off. I really do hope that I find out that I put one of these seals, or both halves, in backwards. Because if I didn't, well, then we got something else going on, and we'll have to do some further investigating. And I don't want to do that. All right, I'm gonna set that down there. Let the oil drip in it. That seal is in right. Yep. So we got another issue unless I put that there and wrong. Well, upon further inspection, I think it's my fault. Yeah. There's RT and V on this crank. I can't really tell. Well, it ain't really where the seal goes, though. I don't know. Let's get this piece of crank seal out, see what it looks like. Yeah, it ain't wanting to come out. This is going to be fun, fun, fun. Yep. Well, only thing I know to do is loosen up all the mains let that drop down, maybe take some pressure off of it. Because what I'm doing ain't working. I didn't want to take it all the way loose, you idiot. It's moving now. Finally. Aggravating son of a gun. It may have been caught with the, we call it RTV. Let me get something pulled it out with. Come on, be backwards, please, please, please. Be backwards. No such luck. So, I don't know what we got going on. Nope, sure don't. Well, actually, I might. Let me show y'all. Well, here it is. This is the bottom half. The only thing I see is it's a little dented in right there. Y'all won't be able to see it, but a little dented in. I don't know why. The rest of it looks good. The top half, there's a lot of RT and V in the lip of that seal, and that may have kept it from, you know, coming out all the way. I don't know. If that's the issue, then that's my fault. I can't remember. I want to say I put just a wee bit of RTV down in the bottom of these grooves. I know I do on the oil pan gasket. I don't remember if I did it on these or not. Here's another thing. On a Ford, they'll have a pin sticking up. That used to keep the old rope seal in place, keep it from sliding. The block has it too. Pretty sure this didn't have it, but we'll pull this seal out and let's just see if it's still there or not. We got the bottom one out. It's right here. You can see the hole down in there. Itty bitty hole right there. It was not there. There's the where it filled up with RT and V. So I did put RT and V down in there. That's the problem, I think, because where it looked dented in right there, there's RT and V holding it. Yep. So that's probably the problem. It's my fault. Yes, it sure is. Let me go get the new seal. I don't like these seals. There's not a whole lot of lip. Chevrolet, I think, got a bigger lip. But anyway, let me go get the new seals and oil pan gasket, and we'll put it back together. Well, it's a few hours later. I finally made it back. Brother called, wanted to work on the tractor. I don't know what's going on with it. The fluid's getting really aerated really quickly. I don't know if it's a pump or something on the suction side. We took the whole suction side off. It's not stopped up, so the only thing left to do is buy a pump, I guess. Anyways, just got back from Ireland with my new seals, and they look mucho better than the old ones. Yep. I really do think it's probably the RT and V I put on there. Like I said, you know, I am a Chevrolet guy, and their seals are a little bigger, a little better than that. Anyways, I'm not using RTV this time. I think what we'll do right now, let's just see if we can curl that up in there. I've already cleaned this area up. I turned it over and cleaned this surface here. There was one spot that was a little rough. I took some sandpaper to it. And anyway, whilst I was doing, I loosened all the main caps except the front one. I couldn't get to it without removing the oil pan. I didn't feel like doing that. Anyways, doing that and then turning it over has opened this gap up. So I'm hoping it's going to slide up in there pretty easy. Let's try that. If it does, then I may go ahead and put the bottom in, get the oil pan on, and do all that. You want the lip of the seal facing the front. So she'll curl up in there just like that. Let me get some lubrications and put on it. Maybe that'll help it slide up in there a little bit better. All right, lip of the seal is right there facing that way. Let's see. Will she curl up in there? Oh, my goodness. It's going in there like butter. Ew. Yep. I know, I think I covered this before. I don't remember. A lot of people say leave like 3/8 hanging. You don't want it flush here. You want to cock the seal. I never have, and I've never had a leak. I don't understand the purpose of that. If you put some goop here, there's no problem. Anyway, I'm gonna do it like I always do, without a bunch of RT and V up here, and hopefully it'll be okay. Let me get the bottom cap cleaned up and get that seal on. We'll put it on. Let me tighten up one of these caps because I got a big gap here that we need to take up. Well, might help if I go the right way with the gun. Make sure that they are up in their little register. Let me get a light, make sure, because If you tighten that up and it's not up in the register, then you can crack one of the caps. It's up in there. Let me tighten that one up a wee bit. All right, that'll do. That took up my gap here. That'll help that cap go a little easier. Now, what I have done, I did not use any kind of RTV down in there. I just put a dab on either end. I have put some Earls on our bearing. Let me put a little bit more on it. That should be more enough. I'm going to put a little bit right here on that seal, and that's all I'm going to put anywhere. Let's see. Well, where are my bolts first? I might need to get them. I found them. I found them. Now, let's get this on here. Very lightly run them up. Now, I got to figure out how I'm going to torque all these with it swinging in the air. It's not going to be fun. No, sir. Well, the interwebs tells me 95 to 105 feetage pounds on your mains for 351. Well, I'm going to go to 100. I went 80, 90, 100. I'm on 100 now. So let me run through it real quick. Like I'm just hanging on to the pulley up here. That seems to be plenty. Last one. All right, I'll run through them again, make sure they're good, and then I'll get the oil pan on. And I'm not looking forward to that, so I ain't sure I'm going to video that because I might say a bad word or two. You might be wondering, why in the world does he have this on the engine stand? Because he was almost done. Well, there's a very specific reason, and I'm going to tell you all about it here in just a minute. Yes, there's a very specific reason why this motor is back on an engine stand. It's a lovely story. Best story ever. Yep. Well, let me just tell you about it. As I was cleaning the oil pan out, fixing to put it back on, I heard a clink, tink, clink, clink, tink. Well, that right there is what I found in the oil pan. You know what that is? It's a dog bone for the lifters. Yep. Intake's got to come back off. I'm very aggravated, very perturbed. This build from day one has been the thorn in my side. This truck is probably going to go away from here for too long. Anyways, we got to pull the intake off, see what's going on. It ain't happening tonight because I'm hungry, I'm aggravated, going in the house. See y'all tomorrow. Well, there's no time like the present. Let's get this intake off and see how many more of these are broke. What's the deal with these aluminum intakes rusting? There's rust all over it. I think it was the square body that we put the motor in. Remember, we pulled the diesel out, put the gas motor in. It did the same thing. The intake I put on Jolly Green Giant is very old, and it has no rust. So it's the newer garbage that you buy that's rusted. I didn't know aluminum rusted, but apparently it does. Oh, I gotta remove my hose here. Forgot about that. Yep. And I wonder if I gotta remove the distributor. I don't know. Probably. Let's go ahead and take it out of the way. One distributor removed. Now, what do we have? I don't see any more pieces laying around. That one's good, that one's good. That was good, that was good. This one right here. That one's good, that one's good, and that was good. Now what made it break? I do not know, but I'm glad it's the only one. I don't know if you can buy one individually or not. I'll have to look and see. That is sliding around. All of them are. I thought they were held down tighter than that. I believe the GMs are held down pretty tight. Let me take that out. Let's just see. It squishes some, but I don't think it's enough because they move around pretty easily. If I'm not mistaken, the GM ones I have built, these don't move around very easily. So it could be, once again, my fault, because you remember we put these whooshers under here for spacers to keep from squishing or covering up these drain bag holes. That may be the issue, I don't know. I took the spacers out. I'm just pushing on it. See how much tighter it is. It's quite a bit tighter. Yep, that's probably what happened. That wasn't tight enough. It let them move around a little bit. Broke that one. But let's get this out. Let me show you. Well, there's the piece that broke. And I don't like this design. See how it's open on the end? Chevrolet, they're solid all the way around. This is sort of asking for trouble, especially with a machine like that too. It makes it even thinner. I don't know why they designed it like that, but hey, what do I know? Because what did I just do? I messed up twice. Well, I reckon we know what we're working on next week. This colossal pile of garbage right here. I'm really getting tired of that truck. Sure am. But both of those issues with the motor, my fault. Can't blame nobody but me. Yep. I just don't know small block Fords. You live and you learn, fellas. What have we learned, by the way? Number one, you don't goop up the backside of a small block Ford rear main seal. I'm trying to remember. I don't remember if I do that on the Chevrolet or not. I don't think I do. Why I did it to this Ford? Who knows, fellas? Why do I do anything I do? But don't do that, because you'll mess the seal up. Number two, if you're doing a retrofit on roller cam stuff, don't put spacers on that spider. Just let her sit on down there, tighten up on those dog bones. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. They weren't tight enough and let them dog bones move around. It broke one. I don't like Ford's dog bones, though. They're open on either end. They got that little piece sticking out on all four corners. You're just asking for it to break off. Chevrolet's solid and a lot thicker. Yeah. I don't know why they did that, but what do I know? I just messed up twice. Anyways, this is what we'll be doing next week. We got to get this fella out of this shop. I don't want him sitting here for a week or two. So be looking for that. Anyways, appreciate y'all watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you don't mind, hit that like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget my Patreon. Don't forget my merch. And until next time, go do something. Blurb, blurb.